It is a famine on all of our watch. Everyone owns this. The Gaza famine is the world's famine. It is a famine that asks, but what did you do? A famine that will and must haunt us all. It is a famine that we could have prevented if we had been allowed. Yet food stacks up at borders because of systematic obstruction by Israel. It is a famine within a few hundred meters of food in a fertile land.
That right there that you saw is a UN official named Tom Fletcher reacting to the newly released report declaring that Gaza City is in fact officially suffering from famine. Of course, there has been every reason to believe this for a very long time, but now it's actually been affirmed by the UN. We're gonna jump at all the details. But Cenk, first off, it's official now. Will this finally get through to Representative Randy Fine? Will he have to apologize for his past comments? What do you think?
No, he's a monster, of course. Look, guys, it's over. I'm gonna say something slightly controversial here, but I don't think it is. So I think there's only two groups of people left that are still holding on to Israel's moral army, and there's no genocide, and the Palestinians are just, choosing not to eat and starve to death, or whatever fantastical, ludicrous things Netanyahu and the deeply evil Israeli government is saying these days. So there's only the people in power, and that's literally 98% of our politicians still say, nope, no genocide, Palestine should not be recognized as a state, and we should keep sending money to Israel, and they just did, right? It was just a couple of weeks ago, they sent another $500 million. So you haven't slaughtered and murdered enough Palestinians. Go, 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 go. That's 98% of the worst people on earth who are our politicians, right? So they're hopeless because they're bought by AIPAC and the Israeli lobby. Anyone who says otherwise is a liar and just lying to you on purpose to protect a foreign government. It's super weird that they're doing that. So obviously, the people in power are deeply, deeply corrupt. Okay, so that's one group, but they're tiny. Unfortunately, they have all the power, but there's like, just a couple of thousand of them in the whole country, right? The only other group that's left is, well, two groups. And there's the evangelical Christians who are like, oh yeah, Jesus is gonna come back and murder everyone. Go Israel, go, genocide the Muslims. Let's go, it's the beginning of the giant genocide we're all rooting for. So those guys are hopeless because they believe in religious fundamentalism that is like apocalyptic and like they want zombies going around, but then don't worry, they're gonna get hoovered up by Jesus and they're gonna look down and laugh at you. Ha ha ha, you're all dying, Jews, Muslims, other Christians, you're all dead, ha ha. So those are fanatic lunatics that should never be considered in policy. Unfortunately, there were a significant voting bloc in America. They're much smaller voting bloc now. The controversial part is, look, we've been pretending this whole time that there's not an ethnic bias here, right? So some of the best fighters for peace are Jewish Americans, and we call it out all the time. This is not about Jews, this is about Israel. But the only other remaining group in this country that's blocking any progress is people who are ethnically biased. And they say, no, other people can do genocides, but never my people. My people are the best. And so if we're genociding people, then we're not. Then you're an anti-Semite for saying that. You hate Jews, that's why you should be in favor of genocide. Well, I'm done with it, I'm done with it. No, I get the ethnic bias. Is it just for people who love Israel or Jews? Absolutely not, no way. Everyone has an ethnic bias. And if you ask Turks, they'll be massively ethnically biased on Kurds and Armenian genocide, etc., right? But are we gonna pretend that they're not biased? Obviously, a giant chunk of people supporting Israel in America are people who are blinded by their bias. And I don't say that in a hateful way, etc. I don't hate them at all. I'm telling you, I get it. But we need you to snap out of it. We need you to join, find your better angels inside yourself. Because just saying, no, I'm gonna use all my power to accuse everyone of being anti-Semites, and I'm gonna get rid of anyone who opposes genocide. That is disgusting. It's horrible. It's not just horrible for the Palestinians, it's not just horrible for the American people, it's also horrible for Israel and Jews. You're now, these lunatics who think that they're protecting Jews or protecting Israel are like, no, if you're not pro-genocide, then that means you hate Jews. So if you wanna love Jews, You have to be pro-genocide. Don't say that. You're making anti-Semitism 20,000 times worse. But they can't see because they're blinded. They're like a blind giant. They're like Goliath, or more accurately, they're like Lenny of Mice and Men. Oh, nice bunny, nice. Oh, God, snapped its neck. No, the bunny's fine. The bunny's fine. And if you don't say the bunny's fine, then you're anti-Lenny. No, you guys have lost your goddamn minds. Snap out of it, because now everyone's starting to hate the entire ethnic group. How does that help you, you idiots? How does that help you? No, they can't see straight. No, my people are the greatest. Your people are irrelevant. We slaughtered 20,000 of your kids. Who cares? You're bothering me. My sensitivities and feelings are offended. There's a famine. Babies are starving to death. Try to find your humanity. Back to you, John.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to jump into the stats. But Waz, did you want to quickly comment before we get into the numbers?
I mean, it's hard to see how anybody who's for what's happening right now sees the Palestinian people as human. This idea that, they're just not people that the Israelis should be expected to live next to because somehow they're just some special kind of horrific, monstrous brand of human being it's the height of lunacy to me. Like, people get over this kind of stuff all the time, like India and Pakistan, the Serbs and the Bosnians, or the Serbs and pretty much everybody in the Balkans. You name it, India, Pakistan, like you name it, like people have found a way to live next to each other. The entire continent of Europe. Like, you can just go down the line. Folks have found a way to live next to each other in peace. And if you truly believe this is the only way to achieve peace for the Israeli people, you just have to think in your heart that Palestinian people are just a special brand of alien monster, which I just think is baffling. It's crazy. It's obviously racist. And it's just horrible. Like there's no way to justify this. There's no way to justify the actions that Israel is undertaking if you see the population of people in Palestine as actual people and human beings. It's just unjustifiable.
Well, let's jump quickly into some of the numbers here that have been provided. At least 20% of households have an extreme lack of food. Basically, they're starving. They don't have any food. A very significant percentage of kids, we're talking not even toddlers to toddlers, their bodies are wasting away. At least 2 people or 4 children under 5 per 10,000 are dying daily. Of course, 10,000, so you multiply that by many times over to get the entire population. That's how many people are literally just starving to death every day. More than 640,000 people in about a month will face catastrophic levels of food insecurity. That is IPC phase 5 levels of starvation. About the rest of the population will be in phase 4. Some will only be in phase 3 starvation at that point. And over 98%, I'm gonna jump ahead to graphic 4. Over 98% of cropland in the Gaza Strip is either damaged, inaccessible, or both because it has been intentionally destroyed by the IDF. Still though, I want to say what the UN guy said. About a mile or 2 away, people are having brunch, to be clear. It's not that there isn't food, they're just not giving it to them. They're having family dinners, they're having celebrations, there's birthday cake 1 mile that way. Okay, this isn't like this is an inaccessible part of the world. We just can't get a plane there. They're choosing do I want the caprese salad or I think tuna actually. That's what's happening a mile away. And just briefly before we discuss, I wanna mention 3 sort of things that make me nauseous. The first obviously is what's actually happening. That should make everyone feel sick. The second is, and maybe this is just me, it's the feeling I have reporting on something like this, where it's this mixture of feeling disgusted with a desperate hope of, well, maybe this will get through to people. Because shooting them won't. You can shoot as many kids as you want. Doesn't matter, it's not gonna get through them. You can blow them to pieces, you can set them on fire, you can drop a building on their head. You can do that 100 times, 1,000 times, 20,000 times to kids. And crap, that just didn't get through to people. Okay, maybe if they're starving, then will people care? It feels like reporting on school shootings over the years where it's like, Well, surely, I mean, if 20 kids are shot, that'll do something, no? Maybe if a church gets shot up, no, a bar, a concert, casino, no, none of it. None of it. And honestly, this isn't gonna get through to those people too. Anybody who has the physical capacity for empathy has already experienced that empathy. The rest are not going to because they don't want to. They're not gonna cry for this human suffering because they don't see it as human suffering. They don't see these people as worthy of a single thought, a single tear. Cenk?
So that's why it's deeply ironic when they keep throwing around that anti-Semitic word, right? Which now means absolutely nothing. They ruined that word. It used to mean something, now it means heroic fighter for peace. And because if you fight for peace, they're gonna call you an anti-Semite, guaranteed. And they're gonna say it 2 billion times over because it's a one-trick pony and they're giant liars and all they love to do is smear everyone else. They're like, oh, don't ignore our genocide. The real problem is people criticizing us. They're so evil and hateful. You know what, everybody's sick of that. We're vomiting that word. We can't stand it anymore. Now when anybody uses the word anti-Semite, they're almost definitely a racist. Because they're the ones who say, no, yeah, Israeli children are the most precious children in the world. I think Israeli children are as precious as every child on the planet Earth. I hope none of them ever get hurt, right? Now we say the same thing about Palestinian children. They're like, no, you're an anti-Semite if you don't agree that we should have murdered 20,000 of their kids. We should murder another 20,000. And if you don't say it, you hate Jews. No, brother, no, you hate Palestinians. You're a deeply racist, nearly psychotic person at this point. So I'm done with any Israeli supporter still defending the starvation of children. And what they've done to Jewish culture, is sickening. Holocaust survivor spoke out eloquently against it today. We're gonna share that later in the show with you guys. My favorite author in the world, Yuval Harari, is an Israeli. And he said they're destroying our culture. The culture used to be for openness and caring about the underdog and the victims, and that's absolutely true. Jewish people in this country have been wonderful to me throughout my life. They were the leaders of the civil rights movement in a lot of ways because why? They wanted to step up for other people who were abused, etc. Now Israel has turned that culture into an oppressor culture, a racist culture, a culture who's just indifferent to other people's pain, other people's suffering. And all they do is lie. Every word out of an Israeli government official is a lie. So no, the Israeli government leaders are deeply evil. And now if you're still supporting them when the entire rest of the world says, yes, it's definitely a famine. Yes, you're definitely starving the children to death. Yes, you've definitely murdered 62,000 of them. It's an 83% civilian kill ratio, one of the worst in modern history, worse than Bosnia, worse than Sudan, worse than Aleppo and the butcher of Damascus. Assad butchered those people in Aleppo. That was a 59% civilian kill ratio. Hamas was a 67% kill ratio, civilian kill ratio on October 7th. Israel's at an 83% civilian kill ratio. They're butchering civilians. And from the Jewish people, that's heartbreaking for what they've gone through. Now Israel's inflicting on others. And I can't stand it anymore. And if you're a person of decency and any kind of moral conscience, you have to do everything in your power to get them to stop. It's like we're living in the middle of the Holocaust now. And the biggest debate we're having is, have we offended the Germans too much? Who cares if we offend the Germans? We should be going to war against the Germans in the middle of the Holocaust, and we did. We're worried about the Israeli feelings? Are you insane? Children are literally going to starve to death today because of the goddamn Israelis, and that is a fact. And if you say, oh no, I found the real problem here. Cenk said goddamn Israelis. That's an anti-Semite. My feelings are hurt. I do care about your feelings. And your feelings are racist. Say, oh yeah, Palestinians murder their kids. Who cares? They're not human. You're a racist. You're a sick person. Don't you ever say anti-Semite. Don't you ever talk about bigotry. Don't you ever talk about anything. If you're not fighting to end this genocide right now, you're a monster. You're a deeply evil, immoral person. And I don't care what you think. Oh no, I get to say that I'm the only one who's pure. Anyone who criticizes me, fire them, arrest them. They're doing it today, guys. The stupid Trump administration We're gonna review 55 million visas in case anyone is criticizing Israel. They'll be removed from the country. And finally, that's the last part of it. Israel controls America. Saying anything otherwise is absurd. It's counterfactual. How could, in the middle of a famine, forced famine, all of these dead children, 98% of our government is still kissing Israel's ass? It's pro-genocide. I accuse them of being deeply immoral scumbags. Oh, where's the money? Where's the money? Our politicians sicken me. And our media, oh, no. Oh, no. Congressional hearings on anti-Semitism. Protect the poor Israelis. The real problem is how you guys are offending the Israelis. No, the politicians, they're not crooks. They ignore the AIPAC money. If you say AIPAC money, oh, that's it, you're hateful. You know, shut up. Lie on behalf of Israel. You have to lie on behalf of Israel. That's what mainstream media says. If you work at mainstream media and you still haven't called it a genocide, you're a coward. You're a sniveling, immoral, deeply evil coward. I'm sick of the people in power in this country using it to abuse people. They never help us. They never help us. We've given Israel $310 billion. And then Israel comes and says, you owe us. You owe us. Are you kidding me? We don't owe you a goddamn thing. We should cut off Israel. They're not an ally. Let's be clear about it. No one has gotten us in more trouble. No one has caused more harm. No one has caused more wars in my lifetime than Israel. Israel is not our ally. At this point, they are our enemy. They take money from us. They incriminate us to the whole world. They implicate us in their immoral war crimes. No one has hurt this country more than Israel has. Israel is our top enemy. Enemy. Cut off the goddamn funding. You're taking my money to murder Palestinian children. You goddamn racist. That's how I feel about it. Young Turks. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.